Hello and welcome, everybody, tonight. We have Nucleus AMA with the DeFi Angels. Super exciting project that we're actually really excited to help highlight a little more and dive into tonight. I have the team here on the call. We have Casey with us, the Ghost Dev, as well as Sean, the Dev. So, at this point, I really want to find out more about the team of Nucleus, and then we'll move into more of the highlights amongst the project itself and what it does and the utilities. But starting out, guys, just to make sure you're with me, Casey, I know you're here, Ghost and Sean. Just to lead this off, maybe Casey, if you want to run with it, would like to really understand more about the team and where you guys came from. What are your backgrounds and how did it formulate into crypto, and especially on this project itself? I think that'll be a good starting point.
Yeah, I think it's a perfect starting point, Taylor. Thanks, guys. Thanks, DeFi Angels, for having us on their platform, and thanks for all the community support that we've had. And like as he said, we've got the Ghost Dev and Sean, and there's a few other guys, and they can raise their hands and speak up. We got Red and we Salty and Thunder that were there since the beginning, And how it kind of came together was it was like a group, of people that kind of wanted the same thing, and I kind of fell into the group, when it was kind of coming together, and I fell into it. It was a funny, and I'll leave it at that. I'll leave it at a funny story, but I remember getting rugged a handful of times, and then I found this group, that could kind of tell their signature play, the way they kind of talked to each other and moved, and I liked it. And I remember like looking for the dev for that. Then on, that was my new thing. Whenever I got into a Telegram or into a new investment, or even if it was a meme play, I wanted to speak to like somebody who was in charge, because that was like a while ago, and I really wanted to have answers to why everybody kept stealing my money and rugging me. So I spoke, and I said, listen, I own a marketing agency. I really have a concept I want to put together, and they were already looking for some. They already had things going, and then this just added to it. And then Shawnee, he came out and he DM'd me, and he said, I'm the dev. What do you want? Kind of thing, like, what's up? Very nicely, very humbly. And I said, Nate, I've been scammed a lot. No, you're not. And then I remember he removed his tag from their main TJ. He said, is this enough proof that you have enough proof? And he came back, and we started talking from there. And he invited me to a group of guys that had the same vision. The vision being is, how do we stop, first and foremost, how do we make it safe to play, and how do we make it safe to invest? And like for newcomers, like I had to come in with everything I had and lose most of it to learn. And right then and there, it was like that. Right, that was a system for me. Like that, it was an entry point. I paid my own tuition, and I don't feel like that everybody should have to do that. We're here early, so everyone on the team seemed to have the same vision with that, and we just kept adding to what Sean and Ghost and the development team were doing, and we kept just firing and spitballing, and then it was like, there it is, that's it. So then we had to start testing and working, and we went to work for a bunch of months, a handful of months. And my background is in marketing and creativity and strategic partnerships. That's what it's been for the last 22 years. And that's like, I have a ton of a track record of putting these strategic backgrounds together. And then once my marketing resources are used up, I'm kind of like, there's what else do you do, So I really had this whole creativity idea to like add that to the spin, to the space. The rest of the stuff just kept falling in place with the layer two and all that kind of stuff. And like, that's more technical stuff that I would definitely have Ghost and Sean get into. But like, that's my background, and that's how that came to fruition close to a year ago. Um, and Going forth, we haven't stopped since. We've been like a band of brothers. We've been through some adversities, ups and downs, lefts and rights. But the only thing we promised ever is that we'd be there. We have this project, and we're pretty soon all the answers are going to come out. And little by little, they've been dribbling and dribbling out to the point of, we do a stealth launch, and then it's like, all right, where's the answers at? And like, we're there now. So hopefully tonight a lot of this stuff gets cleared up, and I'd like to give Ghost the floor next, and he can really start getting into some of the stuff about the development.
Uh, Thanks, Casey. I think I might have to start from the beginning a little bit. Well, like Casey said, the Xrunner started off as a group that we just built for ourselves to, you know, a dev group, a people that were in these crypto tokens, who were developing crypto tokens and stuff. We made this group and we're like, okay, now you tell us if any of you in the group are launching a token, you tell us. That way we can ape in safely, and that way we know we are not going to get robbed or honeypotted or scammed. And later on, we figured, okay, we have this group, but we see so many people just come into this DeFi space and not have that insider info, not have that alpha, and like get robbed and scammed. Like, I mean, even when we got in first, even when we were in the DeFi space as newbies, we didn't have that info, and we got drugged, we got scammed. So how can we just give people this info that, okay, this token is safe, this token is someone who's based, like we see people say, okay, Davis based on these tokens and stuff, but what does being based really mean? It was just a word that was being thrown around. We wanted to add weight to that word. We wanted to give people some place that they can come in and see, okay, there's this token. Okay, this token is safe. I can ape in safely. Okay, there's this new launch. This launch is safe. I can ape in safely. I can get in here and I can invest in this one. Okay, there's a pre-sale. Okay, I can get in this one and be safe about it. Not worry that someone's going to drug me or scam me. Then it came to the point that, okay, we want to create this platform. We want to create this showcase in place, but how do we really know that the people who come to us and like showcase want us to showcase their stuff, how do we really know that they're telling the truth? How do we really know? We have to do all this research, and we have to do the research for other people. Even then we wouldn't know that they are telling the truth. We can take a look at a contract code and be like, okay, this looks good, but there could be stuff that's hidden in there. So we figured we don't want to just do this website or something that showcases safe tokens. We want to give the tools to the developers and the pathway to make tokens safe as well. We don't want to just be like, okay, you guys make the token safe and come to us. That way we'll say that this token is safe. No, we don't want to do that. We want to actually give you guys the tools to make your token safe, to get it audited, get it. Sorry. We want to give you guys the tools to make that token safe for yourselves and for the people as well. We don't want developers to fall into scams, and we don't want investors to fall into scams. Now, when we say we don't want investors to fall into scams, most people will understand, okay, there's rugs, honeypots, scams. But when we say we don't want developers to fall into scams, I'm pretty sure only a handful of people here understand. Yeah, developers get scammed too. Have you seen how many people come into a group, a token group, and tell, I have this marketing group, I have this call group, I can do this for you, I can do that for you. And if you are not someone who's been in this space for a long time, you wouldn't know who to trust, who to get that service from. And we've seen developing teams who are new to this space get scammed by people who promise them some kind of service, take their money and run. Now, when that happens, that money those developers lose is money they can use to properly market and grow the token. So it's not just a hit on the developers, it's a big hit to the investors in that token as well. So that's why we wanted to build this platform that not just gives investors a place to go and see tokens that are safe and have access to pre-sales that are safe, have this in like insider information, but developers can go in and find safe services as well, and they can find it all in one place. They don't have to go all over the place and find one, two, three, four. No, they can just go in, select a package and talk to a representative and get everything they need to make a safe token, a good token, and have that good launch they want and get that good name in the community. It's this one-stop shop, but it's not going to be a shop where every cheap thing gets displayed. It's going to be a shop where only this branded stuff gets displayed. We want to bring that blue check mark that Casey is talking all the time. We want people to get get to that point where when people see that blue check mark, they can know that, okay, 50% of that DYOR has been done for me. This team has already done the research to ensure this is as safe as possible. And I can go in this token and not worry about being rugged or scammed. That's where we want Dextron to end up. So the thing that started with just a group of people who wanted to find safe tokens for themselves to invest in is going to turn out to be the place where safe tokens are born and where people all over from DeFi come to find safe tokens.
Cool. And well said. I mean, I think that everybody on the call can relate, to horror stories in the sector. I mean, I certainly can. Starting out, I took a lot of bumps on my head, but followed the right people at the right times and ended up connecting with those right individuals. So, hearing what this sounds like, it's becoming essentially a marketplace that will highlight, the right actors in the space, right? The right shilling people, the right marketing people. So having a platform where people can go and see success records, history, proven stats that show what people can bring to a project, I think is enormous for the space. I think it's much needed, given everything that's bad that has happened in the sector. So props to you building this out. So moving forward throughout this, right now, we're at the Nucleus token, which is pretty much the entry point for it all in terms of moving into Dextrunner, that ecosystem where it's going to highlight, safe projects, safe teams, service providers, everything and all the above. That's really cool. So from right here where we are now, can you kind of walk me through what it looks like from today's point in time and when we get to Nucleus and how that transition goes?
Oh, sorry. I think Casey's being reverberated from each other's mics and speakers. So Nucleus, from first day we told everyone, okay, Nucleus is going to be this entry point to the alpha culture. That's what the first introduction to Nucleus was. And we are going to keep that. We are going to keep that promise. But we are also going to add something to that. Nucleus, when Dextrana integration happens, will be tax-free. Now, that is just one, that's kind of like the cherry on top, but there's a lot more behind that. We are going to make Nucleus tax-free because we don't want people to spend on taxes even to get access to these services. Now, with tax-free, yeah, you can see Taylor's typing that in the chat as well. Tax-free means one of the major requirements for Nucleus to get listed in the bigger exchanges, even central exchanges. So Nucleus is going to head that route. Nucleus will provide people the access to the alpha and that this insider info, access to these pre-sales, get you into this safe the platform. While doing that, Nucleus will grow into one of the big tokens with zero tax. And we are also working on a method to reduce the gas price of exchanging Nucleus. I mean, this might be something you would have to see how it happens. It's going to be a brand completely new method, and it's going to reduce the gas prices of Nucleus even. So the cost of doing transactions using Nucleus is going to be as low as possible, which means this is going to be the entry point everyday trader can access. Everyday trader can access the Dextron platform using this cheap currency called Nucleus. Now, Nucleus is, like we said, is the entry to Dextrunner. So when we move into Dextrunner, I'll probably explain how Nucleus and Dextrunner ties up. It's not just about the access to the platforms and everything. There's much more behind it. So do we move into Dexrana itself, Taylor?
I didn't catch that last part. Ghost, what was that question?
So shall we move into Dexrana itself? Because I think a lot of people are going to have this question, why is there going to be two tokens in the platform?
Yes, absolutely. And I was going to say, it's a good transition point to start talking about, Nucleus and Dextrunner and moving into that. So feel free, my friend.
So one major thing about Nucleus is that it's going to be a low tax, like zero tax token. So there's not going to be any income from Nucleus coming into the platform. But Nucleus is going to get benefits from the platform on top of just having access to the platform. Like Nucleus holders get the benefit of having access to the platform and everything. So how does Nucleus as a token benefit? When developers or people who use the platform, when you buy a package from the platform, when you buy a package from us, if you pay a portion of that fee using Nucleus, you get a discount. I mean, who doesn't want to get a discount on something? So that's the incentive for the developers to use Nucleus to pay a portion of that price. Now, what happens to this Nucleus they use to pay a portion of the price? That Nucleus gets burned. This takes the supply of Nucleus down, making this stable zero tax token deflationary. Because without, otherwise, when we talk about a deflationary token, that deflationary happens from the burn fee or the burn tax. So Nucleus will be a deflationary token without a tax. That's just using the income from the platform. Now, when we have this zero tax token being the currency of the platform, we still need, it's managing this platform is expensive. So where does that tie in? So how does the income from that there's this influx of money to the platform for the development and everything? So what do the people who use this platform and gain money and make their portfolio bigger do with that? We want to provide them something that they can use to invest in the platform and gain returns as well. There comes the Dexrunner token. Dexrunner token is 6% tax token that has reflections, burns in every transaction, and a staking reflection. Now, the staking reflection part might be a little bit new to people. If you hold Dexrunner and if you stake Dexrunner, you get more redistribution than if you were to just hold Dexrunner. So this is a bit of an incentive to hold Dexrunner. You also get the amount of profits from the platform into if you stake Dexrunner as well. Now we said, okay, it's not just Dexrunner. We are not going to give all the benefits to Dexrunner. Even though we don't get a big income from Nucleus, Nucleus is still our way. Nucleus is still our core. So we want to give something to Nucleus as well. So we are going to give Nucleus, even Nucleus holders, the ability to stake Nucleus and receive a portion of profits from the platform. Now, why, if you can stake both tokens, if you can use this one zero token and one's a tax token, so why would you buy one from the other one? Think of it this way. You have a Toyota Hilux. It gets you from point A to B. It does the work you need. It's more than enough for you when you're using that car. But once you get some more money, you want some comfort. You want some return you want to show your wealth and you want some return on your wealth. Now then comes this Mercedes. You get the bragging rights and you get the return, you get that comfort. It's kind of like that. Nucleus is the entry level token that everyone can buy and everyone can access platforming. Dexrunner is the elite level token that you can buy and gives you better returns than Nucleus. But Doesn't mean we are abandoning Nucleus either. So that's kind of where it is at. Nucleus is going to be, and first and foremost, the access point for everyone. While Dextrana stays that elite token, giving the people who have made their portfolio bigger by using the Dextrana platform a chance to invest in the platform and get better returns from the platform. That's our target. That's the target for the external platform.
Yeah, Ghost. I just in this like in simple words, I can break it down like in simpler terms too. Because that's how it has to be fed to me. I always say to everybody, like, tell me like I'm a baby because I don't get it. And it was like, to become a seed investor, you usually need to have a decent amount of money, and then you have to have the ins and the alpha, and you need to know the right people. And I had an opportunity to do it once, and I missed out on it. And it was that woulda, coulda, shoulda thing. But the reason I missed out is because I couldn't afford to lock up that type of money. And that's how again the concept of the staking and the swing trading and all that stuff came with this token, with this where you could use like the Dex runner. And I said my terminology was like an LP token where it earns money off of each transaction. And they said we can do that. And then he said we can go one step further, and even when they can go back and use their zero tax token if they feel like trading, if the market is favorable to them, and they can trade it, back to the market again. So it can go from back down to from the CEX, and then if they want to break it, you go invest in a new micro rollout or ICO or IDO, all that type of stuff. So really, what it came down to is how do we make the everyday Joe, Jack, and Sally able to be seed investors and earn a maximum return on their investment. And that was the goal of the token itself. Like that was like the raw goal, the raw goal of it. Ghost is very good at it. He'll get into the technical terms of how it goes back and forth. But I have to be told the other way because some of this stuff just doesn't make sense to me. So I need to be taught like a baby, but I do understand all the need for it. So like this is why the team works out so well. We just bounce back and forth with each other. Shawnee, and why don't you tell them about some of the stuff that you're making?
What's that? I missed that.
Do you want to go ahead and introduce some of the products that are running on Dextrana and the ones you're working on?
All right, you guys did a great job here with the introductions. I'm just quite surprised. With all the platforms, so what we doing here right now, we're just working on the Arbitrum network as well. I think we haven't mentioned that yet in the AMA. Have you? No, I reckon not. So we're just focusing on the Arbitrum as well for the future. We believe that 40% of the traffic on the Uniswap will just go into the Arbitrum, which because there's the transaction value of the gas fees is pretty low, and the transactions goes really quick, and there's no fair transactions there. And we tested the network a couple of times. It's really good, and the team ended up building the Arbitrum. We just going into the Arbitrum product. So we just doing it at the moment. We're doing the Arbicrypt, which means the launchpad and the leak locker for the Arbitrum. And Arbitrum doesn't have a leak locker or a launchpad yet. So we're just building on that. It's already finished, and we have the UI set up, and we're just doing the integrations right now. And the launchpad, leak locker, we call it like Arbicrypt. So we have that going on the side. And with the Dextrana staking platform, we working on that, and I reckon Ghost give you a clear example how it works, how the staking works, what are the percentages. I'm not going to be too technical with that. With right now the staking platform, it's a real big job. We're just working on all the research and informations, getting codes together. It's a big line of codes. So just this whole project we started like 9 months back. It's just a big combination, and we have a separate thing coming as the Dex tools. We have our own Dex tool coming out. We call it XRAD. It's on the line as well. It's already finished. I mean, if you go to the website, you can just go there. But It's not finished. I haven't uploaded any of the back end yet. There's a couple back end, but APIs is not set up yet. So we have that, and what else goes? I mean, we have the RB bridge. So right now, with the RB bridge, when you bridge your Ethereum from layer 1 to layer 2, it goes straight. But when you withdraw L1 to L1 your Ethereum, it takes 8 days with the current bridge. So we're just working on a bridge that minimize the time within it does the job within 8 to 5 minutes. So rather than just waiting 8 days, that it does the job within 5 minutes, the RB bridge that we're building right now. So it's under development as well. We have the research team working on that. We got the APIs, all the 3JS, everything set up down there. We're working on that. The Nucleus. So the Nucleus staking platform, what we're gonna do, we have to connect each other with this. So it's just different smart contract and all stuff. So we're working on that as well. So it's a big complex thing. But the launchpad right now for the RB Crypt, it's nearly done. It's almost done. We can showcase to you guys really soon. And Dextrunner launchpad comes with the talks platform, the auditing, and it has a social tracker as well. I know right now with the Etherscan, if you go there, Etherscan takes there's a big backlog. I mean, it takes days to get updated in the Etherscan, even in Etherscan. So we have a social tracker down there in our platform as well, just for the convenience for the early investors and the developers, especially for the developers. Yeah, we just trying to give a lot of solutions for a lot of problems what we see in the point of view, but we're always open to all in ears. I mean, if someone have like a problem, if someone point out like, oh, there's a problem here. I mean, what's the solution? We always have a solution for that. I mean, I have a guarantee that every question has a solution with the Dextrunner and Nucleus team. If you have anything, if you want to pinpoint, I think I have done enough. Boss, do you wanna guide me? What should I like? That's pretty much right.
Well, I think you said a lot about our platforms and everything that's coming up. And if another thing I need to add is, if there's something that Dextrunner doesn't offer directly, like that's not directly by the Dextrunner team, we are going to have partners that are already established in this DeFi space to offer those services. I mean, for example, we are new to this space, so if we say, okay, we are going to offer an auditing service, that's not really something that people can, get behind. But instead, we'll have some partners that be providing those auditing services that are already established in this space. That's the kind of where Dextrunner is going. Yeah,
like for the especially like for sometimes even as example, I'll tell you example. When you go to Dex tools, if you need to put a banner, you need to have a KYC done from third party service. Like that, even for the audit, we're gonna do the same system. Like it comes from a reputable company that has a good history and everyone knows the campaign, the audit. So that's thing like audit need to be like a perfect thing. So yeah, exactly, goes. Thanks for that. Thanks for
yeah. Yeah. So instead of just saying, okay, we believe in this developer, that we trust this token or anything like that, we are going to have the tokens that are going in Dextrunner not just stick to these requirements by Dextrunner, but also they will need to pass these tests that are industry standards too. And that's another step, another checkpoint we put in here to make sure that people who come to Dextrunner and find these tokens can invest without worrying about being scammed. That's the big thing, without being worried about being rugged. So instead of we are not just going to be saying, okay, we believe this is safe. We are going to implement those standards. That's the difference here. We are not going to bring a person here and say, okay, you can trust this guy even though you don't know anything about it. No, we are not going to do that. We are going to take this guy, take this person, take this developer, have him run through the hoops, pass the exams, and then bring him to you and say, okay, this guy passed the exams. This guy has all the tools he needs. This token has everything it needs to succeed. So you can come in and buy this launch. That's the difference in Dex Runner.
No, it's very impressive, and I would say much needed. And the fact that you're putting these barriers and these layers of due diligence before projects or people or service providers can enter the platform is genius. I have to give it to you. That's really where it sticks out to me the most. I think is highlighting the good folks in the space. So during, this scale out process, how long would you say we are away, as Nucleus holders today, if you're not one or if you are one? So let's say I am personally, what is kind of the runway until Dex Runner comes out? Do you have a timeline or kind of a little ballpark?
So the Dex Runner initial entry point will be starting this October, actually mid-October. But the platform itself will come after showcasing each of the services. So in November, that our plan was December, but I think Sean's team has actually pushed it forward in November, in early November. The Arbitrum platforms, the Licklocker. While I'm saying this might even end up being mid-October. This might even come mid-October because dev teams that are working, they are working so fast. Sometimes I go to these dev team meetings and I say, okay, you guys said last week this is going to be done by next month, and they say, okay, no, it's not going to be next month. It's going to be next week. Like, it's going so fast right now. So these dates might become earlier than what I say, but at least I'm going to say the maximum dates, like mid-November, the layer 2 solutions are going to come up. And after that, if you look at I think we already had the roadmap put up there. If you look at our roadmap, you'll be able to see how this thing runs from this Q4 2021 till Q3 2022. It's so many products that in the platform. It's so many things that need to be perfected. But the Dextrana ecosystem is going to launch in the first quarter of 2022. That's our deadline for the Dextrana ecosystem. But if anything, if what has happened so far is any indication of what's to come, it's going to launch sooner than that.
Got it. And then in terms, because I mean, this sounds like a really creative business type of project, right? So in terms of like business speaking and making money as, a team and so, I mean, just candidly, like where do you make your money at? Where does Dextrunner make its money at, right? Like, is that off the services and the different tiers that it's going to be offering? So essentially, companies and projects and service providers that would come in, use the Nucleus token, that's generally a business rev stream to Dextrunner, correct?
So the payments itself are not going to be completely on Nucleus. So it will be, that because we don't want to use Nucleus as the direct payment method, it will be a portion of that payment that's on Nucleus. Because if we use Nucleus as the direct payment method, what's going to happen is we are going to have this Nucleus and we are going to have to tap into that Nucleus liquidity pool to get the running costs for the platform. So instead of doing that, our platform fees, all the packages are going to have a portion that's from Nucleus and a portion that's from Ethereum, or I guess like a direct coin instead of a token. So that portion that you get from Nucleus, it's going to be directly burned. We are not going to take away from the Nucleus liquidity. We are only going to add to the Nucleus liquidity. And we are going to take away the Nucleus supply by burning all that. So the fees are going to be a combination in a sense. And if someone pays, say someone doesn't want to go through that hassle of, paying with Nucleus and ETH, and they don't want the discount, so they pay directly in ETH. In that case, even a portion of that profit also gets added to Nucleus as liquidity. Every month or every week on a set timetable, a portion of that profit, a set amount that you'll be able to go to the external platform and see, okay, the next liquidity addition is on this day, and this is the amount that's going to be added. Like, I mean, I know people might use that as well, but we hope people won't do that. I mean, that's going to be done as well. The liquidity is going to be increasing from the fees, and the tokens are going to decrease. The token supply is going to be decreased. That's why I said Nucleus is going to be a zero tax deflationary token that doesn't tax on transactions or anything, but the deflationary part comes from the fees that are paid in the portion of the fees that are paid in Nucleus, and the money that gets added to the Nucleus liquidity from the profits of the platform. So the Dexrunner platform income comes from all those fees and from the Dexrunner token. So the Dexrunner token, which gives higher returns than Nucleus, has a tax. It has a 6% tax. Now that tax is again for the redistribution. It's going to be a token that's stakeable, has redistribution, has stake redistribution, has development tax, and kind of like that sort of thing. That's where these two tie up. One token gives you more return and brings in revenue to the platform. The other token is being used in the platform and gets revenue from the platform and is the main central currency of the platform. I know it's a new concept in DeFi because I don't think anyone else has done something like this, but this is what we need. We decided that is needed to bring in and have that accessibility for the little person and have that, you know, value for the high roller as well.
Yeah, 100%. And to that point, I haven't seen anything like it. It's, I mean, super complex, but it's new and I like it. I mean, I think stuff like this is really going to stick within the industry. So again, you know, the fact that you've structured this out and already moving so fast, I mean, I wish I would have found Nucleus at the earlier stage. So for people that are currently looking at Nucleus in the current state of the project, you still would consider this a great, you know, entry point of what this would be, correct?
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. Very good. Okay. I don't have any questions. I would like, you know, to make an announcement before we open up for any questions on our deal flow committee team and as well as our core team. So moving forward with this project, I personally have decided to join the team at Nucleus. So I will be overseeing business operations and acting as a managing partner for Nucleus and the project itself, moving with Dexrunner alongside Casey, Ghost, and Sean. Casey will be more focused on strategic partnerships and business development. You know, Ghost represents a very powerful dev team that he has built in, and Sean has as well, web development, senior level dev, and has a team of 8. So very strong core that I decided to join. And this has all been inked and finalized. So you're hearing it here. I am on the team of Nucleus and we'll be helping the scaling process. Also, with that being said, there's been a lot of talk of announcements, right? What's going to happen. So aside from me joining the team, we decided to go out and make some strategic partnerships beforehand. So I would love to announce right now that Nucleus and Dexrunner will be featuring Sharik and Co. as a featured on the platform as a featured service provider for taxes and accounting. So as people, you know, run into these things down the road with tax season coming up, we will have a verified person that's, you know, has a great history in crypto doing taxes and accounting. Additionally, Safe Solidity, one of our other partners here at the Angels, will be assisting and represented on the Dexrunner platform alongside Nucleus. So they are more focused on contracts, coding, and working through those. So to bring an extra barrier there, as you heard Ghost say earlier, it's prudent in the space. So, you know, we're delighted to welcome them on the platform as a premier service provider and highlighted and certified. Additionally, one of my partners, Greenhouse Blockchain, will be another featured company. For those of you that don't know about Greenhouse Blockchain, we currently manage about 12 million in assets and mining equipment. And we do cloud hosting, cloud mining, we do mining cells, you name it, we do it in that realm. So the mining aspect will be tied into this project as well. And those services will be offered and highlighted on the platform. And then lastly, our next official pick, Level Up, their platform will be highlighted on here as well as a launchpad feature for new coins to come in and look at and interact. They will be checked marked as well. Lastly, as I continue with the announcements, you wanted announcements, I'm going to give them to you. I don't just do one, I do combos. So aside from me joining the team and the 4 partnerships that I've announced to be on the platform, I will additionally be rolling out PR in Benzinga for Nucleus, as well as Yahoo News and USA Today. So we'll be allocating time to do write-ups and get the message across for what this is going to be. Additionally, I'm working with 2 marketing agencies that we can't disclose at the moment, but we're considering we have enough in the war chest with Nucleus to deploy into marketing firms along with myself to scale it extra. So we're exploring those opportunities now, but as a team, we're staying non-capital intensive for the betterment of the project and to focus where to put the funds more. With that being said, for the last announcement, before I open this up for questions, is we will be attending an event at the end of October. The event is in Las Vegas. It's called Coin Agenda. The team with me here will be there in Las Vegas. So the Nucleus team, we will have a presence there alongside DeFi Angels and our other partners. So we will be speaking to investors, different projects that are at the event, onboarding them to the platform, putting them through the process, as well as connecting with investors. We have rented out a place at the Cosmo for after hours, and we will be hosting events for crypto-centric investors to come connect with us and the teams and to establish more relationships within the sector. So just to kind of run back through these, I have joined the team to be a managing partner with them as long as overseeing business operations. We will have PR and marketing coming out. You can watch for Benzinga, Yahoo News, USA Today. Also, again, we're talking with a couple marketing agencies. I will keep the team up to date. You'll hear more about that. And then lastly, obviously the event coming up, if you do have interest in coming, we would welcome everybody to come out to the event. Again, it's called Coin Agenda, and it's in the last weeks of October in Las Vegas. And then if you have any other additional questions about the partnerships and add-ons to the platform, again, those names are Sharik & Co., taxes and accounting there. We have Greenhouse Blockchain, which again, we represent about 12 million in assets just in mining equipment and up and running. And then we have Safe Solidity, which does most of, not all of our contract work and certificates for us. They'll be featured on this platform as well. And then lastly, Level Up, which is our next pick, is 2, will be featured on this platform as well. So I wanted to at least give this announcement tonight before the Q&A. That way I can step back now and field some questions, unlike me always asking all the questions. So with that being said, at this point, I will step back and alongside the team at Nucleus and leave the floor open for our core team here at the Angels, as well as the Deal Flow Committee, to ask questions for myself and the team here.
Hello. So maybe I will try to ask the first question. Can you hear me well?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yes.
And my question is, you have some competition like FTP, who lately had some bad some bad issues with contracts they hosted and rugs.
Competition
And
with
my question,
FTP, like we're not. I mean, they're the worst.
yeah. My question is, will you have the developers for the developers, the person who contract you to help them to launch a coin to be doxed, for example, what insurance you will bring to the people who want to invest. You said that you want a safe place for people to invest, to the developer to be safe. Did you have this kind of obligation in place or not?
Yeah. So if you check our white paper, every package contains that in the requirements it says KYC of the developer, which means the developer has to at least, in a sense, docs with the platform and give their information, give their information, know do that KYD, know your developer doxing, and then their token contracts have to pass an audit and be certified. Even after that, they have to use industry standards like using multi-sig wallets for the marketing money or anything like that. So we are going to put in place every aspect of security for the holders. We are going to make sure that Dexrunner sticks to those standards and that none of those standards are compromised by any incentive. Like you will not be able to buy your way into Dexrunner. The only way you will be able to get into Dexrunner is by passing those exams, passing those tests. That's what is different with Dexrunner. And Dexrunner doesn't do all those tests in-house. Those tests, like Taylor said, the audits will be done through safe solidity and all those like KYC, all that stuff be done as well. So it's not going to be something that we are going to say, like I said, we are not going to say, okay, we tested this stuff, we trust this one. No, it's going to be these tokens pass the industry standards and these tokens are secure. These tokens have those securities built in place, so you can trust that. It's not going to be you can trust Dexrunner. You can come into Dexrunner and see tokens that we showcase that are trusted by the industry standards.
Exactly. It's sorry if I'm just going to chime in quickly here. I was just going to say it's with DeFi, everything gets a bad rep and everything things happen like we've talked about and essentially what we want to create and give the communities essentially a safe haven where you can go and it's a one-stop shop where that when you go there and you invest, it's you're taking away a lot of the risk and it's creating a community. And in decentralized finance we are trying to make it a safe hub where we can invest as a crew, as a unit, as a community, and get all the benefits of crypto that is not utilized properly and hacked and rugged and all these things that are essentially the one bad thing with crypto is that. So if we can, as we're doing, create a platform and create a community and create something big, like I said before, and I keep saying it, we're pioneers in the industry. We're making it a safe haven. We're taking away all the questions. We're taking away all the unanswered FUD and everything that goes with it because it's simple. It's a safe haven. It's one-stop shop where you know that your money and your investments and what you want to invest in is going to be safe, guaranteed.
Thank you. Now in my mind, I just have the GIF telling shut up and take my money. So thank you very much.
To piggyback off that, JP, in terms of competition, I think right now, being the current climate of certain other competitors, I'll put it that way without disparaging anybody, that there needs to be a change. There's a system that's broken. So, us coming in and really developing a platform and making it a verification style platform where we're going in and we're going to use these service providers that have an outstanding reputation to do that extra due diligence before they even get released on the platform. That in itself is a large service to your average investor, right? Not many people entering DeFi or any emerging sector investment at that has a lot of time to sit here and go through telegrams and go through all the extensive docs and white papers and everything. So by us having a chance to kind of set these hurdles is what I'll put it as, for these companies and projects and people to go through it in recent history with these, I would say, metrics, it reduces the likeliness of bad actors and faulty projects, right? So if we can go in and highlight with highlighted companies the best of the best and then feature them as verified projects or people on this platform, that is cutting out 98% of the legwork for your average first-time investor, right?
Exactly. You nailed it. It's very similar to a prime example would be my father. He wanted to get into crypto. He had no idea how to get into it, and trying to explain everything and kind of, lay it all out for him, it was too much. And he just said, okay, this is above, what my understanding is, and I don't want to invest in something I don't understand. And by creating what we've created, it's exactly like you said. It's one-stop shop. You go on and you can invest, and even if you don't know, fully understand or have the ins and the telegrams and all the shill sheets and all these things, that's besides the point. You go in, you sit down, you go, "Ooh, I like this project, I'm going to invest." You put your money in, and you sit back and it's safe. And that's the big difference here is it's like I said, it's one-stop shop. It's simple, it's going to be easy, and it's going to be a huge community with constant troubleshooting and people explaining things, and there's going to be so much to come from it, right? So for, like, you just nailed it, Taylor. Basically, for the beginners or the people who don't even understand cryptocurrency, it makes it easy for them, and it's all the information is going to be there, and allows them to first time buyers will be able to do it and not get wrecked, and understand, kind of, and learn, and basically learn from it and build off of that. And all of a sudden, those junior investors that come in with 0.5 ETH, all of a sudden, a year from them, just working on our platform and investing with us, all of a sudden are moving up in the world, which is what we're all trying to do, right?
That attracting those types of people, right, and getting those novice investors into safer projects will build an ecosystem within this ecosystem of loyal investors that will continue to grow and participate in projects as long as we are doing our job on the side of bringing these verified people to the platform, whether if it's a project or a service provider. There's so much value that in lies from either being an investor or a project or simply somebody trying to move your money around. So, I mean, any way that you want to look at DeFi or crypto, there should be an avenue within this ecosystem for you to have a solution at the end of the day. That's the goal.
Exactly. You nailed it. And it's like, in discussions with you guys before, I know one word that me and the team, we've always discussed, and I've said this before many times, and you guys can attest to it, but the key word here is integrity. And I think that now's the time to bring on a platform and a project where integrity is the sole, proprietorship. Integrity is the sole, pusher for the project. And if you can show integrity and carry it through as a team and as a community and so forth, I mean, that's it's going to moon. It's going to rocket, because people love investing in something where everybody's transparent and you see everything in front of you. And I think that's what we're really driving towards, is just encapsulating that characteristic, integrity. And that's what our team is all about, and I know that Angels is all about. So it's great.
Yeah, I have a quick question. If you can, I'm sorry if I missed it, but if you can you briefly go over the difference between each membership tier and the benefits of each tier?
This might be something I think this was something that was a little bit settled for the later date, but I can go ahead and go through a little bit of what it is and what each. Give me 1 second just to find out those documents, because I don't want to say something that's not correctly proper yet. Okay, so let me see. So off the top of my head, I need to dig into the documents for that. But off the top of my head, Nucleus will have these 4 tiers. There's 4 tiers on there. First is the Nucleus holders. Now, Nucleus holders will get access to the platform. They will get access to all the pre-sales and everything. The Dextrana holders, the difference is that the Dextrana holders, while they get the access that Nucleus holders get, they will also have the returns from the Dextrana token. And the Nucleus VIP holders, which is above a certain level of amount of Nucleus, they will have access to elite level of pre-sales. It's like, say, someone is wanting to have just 20 pre-sellers that will hold and will vest their investment for like to invest in like 1 ETH minimum each, something like that, or like a larger investment. Then that will be for the VIP tier, because the VIP tier holders, we know that, okay, these guys are holding these tokens for this long, these guys are holders, these guys are trusters, so that kind of like, have that background to them as well, that in a way they have been tested as holders as well, so they will get that kind of that elite access. But I think it'll be better explained once the tiers and the Dextrana light paper and all those information comes out. But I like, the one reason I can't just top of my head say anything is because anything I need to say has to represent what's going to happen. So that will be like, they will get the the holders will have the basic access, while the VIPs will have this elite access, and Nucleus will be the cheaper option of that access, while Dextrana will be the little bit pricier option that has better returns from that token itself. I'm sorry that I can't give you that direct answer right now, but I'll make sure that all that information is available as soon as possible.
No, it's all right. I was just not gonna hold you to that. I know you guys are still early in figuring all these out. Just kind of wanted to get like just brief details so others know what the membership values are, what the memberships can actually hold if you're dedicated holders.
Yeah, I'd like to ask about the development on the Arbitrum bridge. Is there currently any progress on it right now, or is that something that's to come?
Sean, are you here? Because I know that yeah.
It's not just a concept. I mean, we already have the back end, and we're just working on the APIs. We're just getting data from the APIs and all stuff. It's basically done. Even for the UI, I did a bit of like a mock-up, and I just shared with the leaders chat. So yeah, it's basically done, to be honest. I mean, we just need a couple of days in order to operate for the Arbit bridge, all the whole mechanism behind that. We need to hold a big chunk of it inside the Arbit bridge as the holder. That's how we do the transactions like a bit quicker. So we just we all already invented already the mechanism and all stuff, just doing the backend. Backend is nearly done, and even the UI is finished. We have all the ideas set up. So it's basically done, to be honest. I mean, within like a couple of weeks, but yeah, I'm just waiting. It's not the back end and all stuff. It's easy to do that, but I mean, not easy, but we have the work power for that. It's all about the testing. In the beta testing, we have to do like heaps of testing and use a lot of gas. We need to make sure that it's safe and all stuff. So yeah, the next phase is gonna be the testing. It's gonna last for like 2 weeks, to be honest. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, it's basically done. The other bridge, it's basically done. Yeah, I must admit. Yeah, that's
awesome.
it.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, brother.
And I just had a question about the marketplace. Is there any incentive that you plan on having for artists to release on the platform?
What's that question again? You mean the artists?
Like for releasing their collections on your NFT marketplace?
Because
Oh,
to
yeah.
have
Yeah. So the NFT marketplace itself we are going to implement this new sort of a new algorithm that has lower minting gas fees and collection based fees for each artist. So if you're a new artist, you don't pay the same fees that, because it depends on your collection, it depends on traffic and everything, and it depends on the amount you earn. So it's it's kind of like a percentage based this algorithm. So new artists and established large scale NFT collections will have the same access point to the markets, and will have the same incentive to get into this marketplace, because they will get different benefits based on where they want to end up. Like if you want to get established as an artist, you get a different set of benefits, and if you are an established artist that want to market your stuff, you get a different set of benefits. So it's a different method, a different way, a different algorithm, but we are going to make sure that it's helpful to everyone who comes into this space, not just like the buyers, but developers as well. Because one thing we always keep in mind is that we are developers, so we see where we face trouble, we see where we face problems. So when we face problems and when we face trouble, that reflects on our token, that reflects on our project. So we are going to not just think about the holders, we are going to think from ground up, from that 0 point, whether it be NFTs, whether it be an NFT based game, whether it be a DApp, whether it be a crypto token, or whether it be an utility or a project that uses crypto as a currency or something like that. We are going to be providing those services. They need to succeed from point 0 to that point galaxy, point moon.
Thank you very much.
Does anyone else have any questions? I think some people in the community might have some questions, but
I think I actually do have one more question. Just looking at the roadmap, and it looks like we're expecting to migrate to Nucleus Z by the end of the year. Is this correct?
yeah, that's correct. So by the end of the year, we are going to migrate, as with the introduction of the Dextrana token, Nucleus is going to migrate into the zero dev fee, zero tax token.
I have a question real quick. So I was reading in there that you can either swap your tokens for Nucleus Z, or you can swap them for the Launchpad tokens. Is that correct?
Yeah. So we are going to actually give you the option of whether wanting to swap into Nucleus C. We are going to give you the choice of whether you want to swap into Nucleus C, or you can swap into an equal value of Dextrana tokens. So the choice is yours. We are not going to force you to move into either of them. That's going to be a different system. It's going to be something refreshing in this space, that you have control over where your investment is going to go.
Okay, thank you.
To kind of hop in here. I'm normally on the other side of this, so but anyhow, the scaling process, just to kind of talk about that, moving towards Q4 of this year, I think it's prudent that we step on the gas. So again, rolling out the marketing pieces before Dex Runner and Nucleus Zero Tax token comes out will be prudent for me. Getting these in the right places, targeting demographics, getting the marketing rolled out alongside the team. And then we would also, like to welcome, any good people in the space, whether you're a service provider, project, looking to be highlighted and featured, to reach out as well. This is a good place, I would say, to say that and start establishing those connections as we do gear up for this. We only want the best of the best, and we will be very selective throughout these processes of people that we do choose to work with and highlight. So with that being said as well, moving forward, I think that you'll see a lot of different articles mentioned. As we move into the Dex Runner Zero tax, I think it's no secret what the plan is there, on larger exchanges. So leveraging, a lot of what we have here within the DeFi Angels, our connections, will be very important when that time comes. And I just want to highlight, I have nothing less to put this on rather than a very large exchange. I really don't want to settle. So with that, being said again, I think you can kind of read between the lines there of where we want this to go. But if anybody does have any questions about scaling, where do I come in? What are we going to be doing? I'm happy to answer that. And if there's any, projects out there or people that are looking to be highlighted on the platform, feel free to join the Telegram at Nucleus and get in touch with the team member, and we can start that process.
I have a question. This is probably more for the developers, but what is, what will it look like from a functional programming perspective if somebody's choosing, to launch a token? How will that process work? What's the development of that current functionality for developing assets? And yeah, those are the two questions.
I think you might be, if I'm understand, tell me that I'm understanding that correctly. You're asking about what's the process of getting an idea into a token from a development perspective, or are you asking about?
Well, so I recall when I was first introduced to your project, there was a functional programming aspect that makes it, what it really does is it leaps a technical barrier. So somebody who doesn't know how to program can now, functionally program an asset. Is that still true?
Yeah. So if you want, say, if you're talking about learning to programming, yeah, that's a different service that's also offered in the platform. But if, say, someone who comes in here that doesn't know anything about crypto programming, but you have a good idea, you have a good utility that is going to provide a solution for a problem in the crypto world or a real world problem. So you have this concept and you come into us and tell us, okay, I have this concept, but I don't know how to implement this. I don't know how to develop this crypto token. So we guide you through everything, not just developing the crypto token itself. We guide you through doing the market analysis, doing the idea to concept evaluations, doing like the demand evaluation, to see whether there's an actual demand for that idea you have in this crypto market, to see whether this will be a successful project. Because if there is no demand, even if it's a perfect project, if it's the wrong time, it's not gonna succeed. So we're gonna provide you with that, all those evaluations, the feasibility studies, and then we are gonna guide you with our developers. You can work with our developers and bring that idea into a contract or a code and bring that development in there. And if you want to learn development, you have that ability as well. Now that will be a long path. We are not going to promise we are going to teach everyone how to make a token by themselves within 3 months or anything like that. That's just BS in a sense. But you can work with our developers to bring your idea into make it a reality, make it into that feasible idea. If you come with, people might come up with some like crazy ideas that are not exactly feasible in crypto on blockchains. So you can work with us to come to that ground where it is your idea, your concept, but it's something that will actually work in the crypto space. So you can come with that idea, get that token developed, and get the marketing you need, get the launch support you need, and you'll have that moderators, admins for managing your token, everything in one place. So yeah, in a sense, you can be a crypto token owner and successfully handle a token, even if you didn't know anything about launching a token before you came to us, as long as your idea passes that feasibility testing and feasibility process.
Got it. I don't want to take up too much more time, but how do you plan on assessing the demand and feasibility for ideas? Is there a structure in place, or is there a specific team that's doing this? Just curious on the path to
Oh,
determine what is in demand and what's not, and where you're pulling from that. Are you surveying for these people who are bringing these assets to the table, or is it more like pulling market research data and extrapolating if the idea is valuable or not?
I think I might not be the best person to answer this question, but
Ghost.
yeah,
Let
this
me so there's a lot that had to be scaled. So that falls into part of the evaluation that we're waiting on, and then that goes into the next step of marketing and so on and so forth. But as far the answer was both. It was the combination of strategic planning and data and market analysis. From when Arbitrum started, word for word. Minute by minute and second by second. It's to the T where layer 2 is going to be released, and now there's articles popping up everywhere about how everything that's going to be pay systems are going to be using our layer 2, so which is aka Arbitrum. That's where we're at. So that right there, there was like a post trending today. I shot it in there a few times, and someone was like, "Is that about you?" And no, it's not about us, but that's exactly what it is. So what we're building is the launch pad, the locker, and all that kind of stuff for layer 2. So that there alone had there was a mention of that 1,000 times scaling. What it's going to do compared to layer 1, because layer 1 is going to be now that elite network where you already own space on the chain. You already have your spot, and gas prices are through the roof, right? So if you ever deployed a token or launch a token, you know what it costs just to make it live. It's a couple ETH, which is a couple $1,000s, right? Like, who has that to lose? Or if you do it, you do like a live test, even you lose like an ETH, like just to do a live test on a token, you can lose an ETH. Like so just in gas prices alone, people are going to save money. So that's almost not scalable yet, because they don't know how much they're really going to save on that. People are going to go crazy with it. It could be a frenzy. A lot of the people that play in the DeFi and the micros world, we take it. Sometimes we take it. We just throw it around, and anybody can say, call it whatever the name. There's all kinds of names for what we do, right? But there's times like that, and that's not. It's getting kind of getting old. Paying more gas prices than you do for what you're buying in. So that removes that. So that again is unscalable still. But 1,000x is a good start. From Visa using it and everybody else. We don't want to own the whole casino. We want to own like the slot machines and keep it all open for everybody in a safe place to play.
yeah. From like a developer standpoint, just to see that, just to get an idea of how much the cost difference is, we did a test. We did a test of development and deployment of a contract on level 1 and level 2 on Ethereum level 1 and Arbitrum. The contract on Ethereum level 1, it cost us at that time. This is at the exact time. This was the deployment. At that time, it cost us $1,800 just for the deployment itself. At the exact time on Arbitrum, the contract cost us $145 for the deployment. Now, this is from a developer standpoint. Now, those gas fees, that gas fee difference comes into holders as well. The investors, the buyers, every transaction that goes on layer 1 and layer 2. Now, just imagine, this is at the exact same time. And at the same time, the deployment on layer 1 took us about 90 seconds with high gas fees even. The deployment on Arbitrum took us 2.8 seconds. This is how fast the difference between the speed difference in transactions between layer 1 and layer 2 is. That's why layer 2 is the future, because lower fees, faster transactions. Who doesn't want that?
Got it. Appreciate the long-winded explanation. I look forward to learning more and seeing how you guys do in the future.
Thank you for that question.
Ryan.
Taylor.
If anybody doesn't know, Ryan is the yin to my yang in the DeFi Angels. So always a pleasure, listening to those questions. But coming back kind of to my role here with the Angels, in closing, does anybody maybe have any more questions on our core team or our deal flow committee? Or even if you're muted right now, you can feel free to write in the chat a question if you want to have one answered.
I have a question, per usual. Firstly, I did want to congratulate Casey and the Nucleus team for adding Taylor. I think that in and of itself is, makes you guys a success. So congratulations to you guys. And my question is about the Dex Runner token. There was a portion where there was something that was said about dividend share. Is that something that you guys can go into, or is that something for later on?
It's something we can go into right now and later on as well, but I can give a little bit of a explanation on that. So holding Dex Runner is going to be similar to holding a share of a company. So when you hold Dex Runner, you actually get a portion of the profits from the platform as well on top of the redistribution you get. So when you stake Dex Runner, this is going to be something crazy, but when you stake Dex Runner, you get Dex Runner redistribution and ETH as portion of the profit from the platform. So say there's no transactions on Dex Runner. Let's assume there's zero volume of transactions on Dex Runner. You will still get paid off of the sales and the platform fees that are coming into the platform. From that, a portion of that profit goes to the shareholders of the company. So it's something that might confuse some people, might shock some people, might surprise some people, and I might get bashed by my team for releasing this stuff beforehand. But I mean, you guys deserve to know. So and I see Michael has asked a question on, and okay, there's a few questions on the tax breakdown of Dex Runner itself. So Dex Runner will have a 0.5 redistribution of Dex Runner tokens and a 0.5 burn of the token and another 0.5 added to liquidity. And it's going to have the 1.5% marketing development fees, and there's going to be another 1.5% staking redistribution for people who have staked Dex Runner. That's the tax breakdown of Dex Runner, and it's on the introduction paper as Dex Runner tokenomics. You can take a look at the introduction paper for Dex Runner and see the packages we offer, and you can see the requirements for those packages and how those priority levels add up. Higher the priority level, better chance of getting that blue check mark. And if you, for example, if you're priority level 5, that means you will have to get all these requirements and you will have to pass the audits and all those requirements as well. So you have the highest chance of you have that almost certain level of being a good token. So those priority levels are in there. Most of the information is in there. So I urge you guys to go ahead and have a read of that introduction paper, because that will answer a lot of questions a lot of people have, and it will show the sum of the services. Since our partner services are not listed on there yet, they will all be listed in the light paper, but this introduction will have the direct services Dex Runner platform offers as well.
So is that redistribution that you guys have, that 0.5% redistribution, is that being given in the form of Dexrunner, or is it being given in the form of ETH rewards?
So that 0.5% redistribution is going to be in the form of Dexrunner, but the profit from the platform that's being distributed into the stakeholders, Dexrunner holders, that's going to be in ETH.
So the
it's going to be,
so the 1.5% is going to be in ETH.
No, all the Dex, like the Dexrunner redistributions that are in there, is going to be directly in Dexrunner token. So it's going to have Dexrunner redistribution, but on top of that, the income, the ETH income I'm talking about, isn't the income that's coming from the token. It's the income that's coming to the platform when people, like, say someone hires the platform to do a job and they pay like 5 ETH, and once the cost of running the platform is taken out, there's profit. Now that profit, a share of that profit, is going to be sent out to the stakeholders in ETH. So that staking platform will have two rewards: once the actual Dexrunner tokens and ETH.
Okay, got it. So when you stake, you're yielding ETH and Dex Runner based off of the transactions that are occurring on your platform.
Exactly.
Gotcha. Okay.
I know there's a
you
lot of
guys-
things that.
No,
Okay.
I understand where you're coming from. I just was trying to find that clarification there, but we got there.
Thank you, Michael.
Yeah, I was gonna say, are you guys also adding that to the liquidity? Is that where you said through direct payments and liquidity additions, or is that something else?
Yeah, so Nucleus and Dexrunner, both tokens, will have liquidity additions as well. On top of that, if you stake, so that that profit share that comes to Dexrunner, that profit share is going to be divided into two different parts. One part goes to stakeholders directly as ETH, and the other part gets added to liquidity. So even if you stake, you get more rewards. Even if you don't stake, you still get rewards from you still get benefits off of that profit share.
Amazing.
It's a lot of new concepts. It's a lot of new things that come into Dexrunner. But the thing is, these are things that we wanted to see in DeFi. Like, personally, we wished someone would do that, and then we thought, okay, why wish someone would do that? Why not go ahead and do that ourselves? That's why, we are coming into this as developers. We are coming into this as investors. We are coming into this as traders. We've played every role that is in this DeFi space, and we've been through every hurdle in this DeFi space, and we know we've seen what we wish there was, and we decided, okay, instead of wishing, let's go ahead and do that. That's where Dexrunner started, and that's where Dexrunner is coming from.
Really cool stuff. Does anybody else maybe on the call have any more questions that are muted? You can write them in the chat now and we can answer them. Or if you're unmuted on the call, you can feel free to ask questions. Well, I think we might be at the point where we've answered all questions. And that's great. So normally at this time, we would ask the team of Nucleus to part ways, and obviously thank you for joining the call tonight on the AMA. At this point, the DeFi Angels, we like to connect as a community and decide on our official picks. So at this time, if nobody does have any questions, I would like to thank everybody for tuning in tonight, listening to the details of this fantastic project. we will be opening a poll in the chat to vote. So at this time, does anybody have any questions in closing for the team or myself?
No, I'm good.
Okay. Great. Okay.
Great
Just
job,
want,
guys.
yeah, thank you. Thank you. I just want to thank everybody again for logging in tonight and listening. Again, this is recorded. We will be sharing it to our YouTube channel. And at that point, you're able to share amongst all your social platforms and through your communities as well. I would also like to highlight in closing, this is a project that can appeal to every other project and person in DeFi, right? So, you know, if people are out there and are good at what they do and well known in the space, we would like to connect with you. We want to learn more about yourself, what you're trying to accomplish, and potentially get you that platform with the verification mark to highlight you. So with that being said, again, thank you to the Nucleus team, Casey, Ghost, John, Salty Dog, I guess myself now. Thank you, everybody, and the Angels for this wonderful AMA. At this time, Kay, if you don't mind, we can kill the recording and ask the